Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Corsair Obsidian 500D, a brand new mid-tower ATX PC case from Corsair that's marvellous, absolutely marvellous. It is an elegantly designed and really good mid-towered case that I really enjoyed building, and it also just looks great. Now this new case comes with a brushed aluminium steel outer shell and tempered glass that's slightly smoked on either side. It includes panels that open, touch open, really good. No thumb screws involved, they just slide open really easily. I'll show you that in a minute. There's a lot of features to this case that make it worth considering if you're considering a new build, and it is a classic Corsair. I've always been a big fan of Corsair's case because they're well built and they have a lot of features to them that make them highly appealing. This one is no exception. I was really surprised as well at all the features they've packed into this and what you get for your money. This is a £150 case approximately, and it's just really jam-packed full of goodness. The main appeals for this case, obviously with the glass panelled doors, the focus is going to be on neatness, so there's a lot of requirements for being able to see inside your case and making that neat. So Corsair have got a strong focus on good quality construction, but also the ability to support your cable tidying needs. So one of the things I really enjoyed about this build was there's a cable tidying channel, which I'll show you at the back of the case when I get to it. And there's also a lot of areas on the case where you can tie cables to make them really neat. Now quickly going to show you what the case looks like when you first get it out of the box. You'll see there's a lot of stickers, so you'll enjoy that goodness. Note the front panel has inputs on there, easy access for 3.1 connections, USB Type-C, microphone and headphone audio, as well as a reset power button. It's a really simplistic, minimalistic design, but it's really well done. These tempered glass sides are smoked, so not immediately visible what's inside. They open on a hinge that's just really smooth. There's no thumb screws or anything, just opens, which could be dangerous if you've got children about, but if you want quick and easy access, then there it is. And it's beautifully done as well. Now the inside, you'll note, comes standard with two fans, front and back. Obviously you can upgrade that if you choose to, which I have done. You also see a PSU base cover at the bottom there, so that you can easily hide your power supply unit away. And note 3 different slots at the back there for funneling your cables through to the back of the case, which is also excellent. On top there's a nice grill for installing your fans and having them installed on there, and on the front and on the top they've got filters, dust filters, which are really good, and on the bottom actually underneath the PSU. On the back here you have 3 trays for SSDs and 2 for standard hard drives. Also there's a box of goodies attached to one of the hard drive bays. This is a nice way to tuck away the thing, and you see here the bit that I fiddle with that goes down the middle, that is a removable via thumb screw drive channel for your different cables, so you can fit a wealth of different cables down there and hide them, which is nice because with my sort of builds, and probably with anybody's build, if you're putting a lot of things in there, there's a lot of cables to hide away. This case I'm going to be building with RGB fans in it, which have a lot of cables on them, and LED lighting and all sorts as well, so there's a lot of cables to take care of. And if you're hiding your shame around the back, which is usually how I manage my builds, and where you want, because you want the front to be really neat, then the difficulty comes with this glass panels, because the question is where are you going to hide it. But of course they've made it really easy to hide the cables and make them nice and neat. One thing of note is taking photographs of this case is an absolute nightmare. Now I was building this case for something else, writing an article on how to create your own gaming PC from scratch, and to try to take photos of tempered glass is an absolute nightmare. But peeling it off as you get it out of the case is absolutely satisfying. I'm just going to temporarily pause while you enjoy these sounds. Apologies for the sound of rain in the background. This is England after all. One thing I would suggest is if you get this case, don't peel these stickers off straight away. I only did this for photograph purposes. But as you can imagine, it would be quite easy to mark the doors and panels while you're installing your accessories and parts in your machine. You can see how reflective these doors are from the weights in the background of the reflection. And the build quality of the Obsidian 500D is really good. I was really surprised. I'm not used to this mid-tower sort of size of case. I'm used to building full tower cases previously, but this one just works really well. Personally, I would have liked more standard hard disk drive bays rather than SSD bays, but that's just because I like to have loads of storage. But still, I'm planning on putting two 6TB hard drives in there and then one SSD, and I've got an M2 drive for the motherboard as well, so there's plenty of storage options. There's also the wonder of the PSU container underneath and plenty of fan options, so you'll see in the finished product in a minute that I've managed to install 6 RGB fans on it. Now this is the back end a bit further on after I've installed the drives. You'll also note I have the lighting commander nodes installed here. Put one where one of the SSD bays would be, and you'll note the one on the left I've actually used to pin down some of the other cables. You can see closely here. This is near the end. Please forgive the horror because some of these cables still aren't finished tidying yet. It's not the very end. And I must admit, I'm still hiding some of my shame down here. I've tucked away the Corsair Commander Pro underneath and in the back there, simply because it has 8 cables coming out of it, I believe, at the moment, which is a nightmare to try and keep tidy. And I want it to be able to create it nice and neat now. I really like this channel. The next to the hard drive there on the left, you'll see this bit of metal there. It has 2 thumb screws holding it in place, and you can put a multitude of cables down there. There's 3 holes for those cables to come through to the back, so it's really easy to feed through. For default, the front panel connectors are in there. They're fed through, but you can take it off and put more cables through, so I've put a lot of power supply cables through there and other things to tidy it up. And this is the end result at the front. Now, of course, their H150i is mounted to the front. That's a 360mm radiator. That fits on the front. I believe you can fit a 260 or 280 radiator on the top if you so chose, but the H150i won't fit on the top. So I've also faced the fans inwards because the RGB lighting was obviously make the most of those tempered glass panels, and you can't see the front of the case because, as you've seen previously, it's just metal, so there's no point in doing that. This is what the finished product looks like. It looks pretty awesome. I hope you'll agree. My cable tidying still needs a little bit of work, but otherwise it is pretty fantastic. It's a really good case. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and drop us a comment. If you didn't, please also let me know, and let me know what's awful about it so I can improve in future. Thanks for